What is up? It's your boy Jonni Shreve. I BB Promise, or Tell Like It Is. And we're gonna go over 5. Do it again. You're loud. What is up? It's your boy Jonni Shreve. I BB Promise, or Tell Like It Is. We're here today at the Blue Star Nutraceuticals headquarters, and today we're gonna go over 5 shoulder mistakes that are holding you back from your gains. So without further ado, keep your eyes glued to the screen, your ears glued to the speakers. Let's learn some shit. So mistake number 1 is our setup. We wanna make sure we have a good setup. A lot of times I see people sit down on the machine or the bench and their legs are out here, or they're over here, or they're somewhere. They're just not in alignment with our feet positioning to help us aid this lift to being optimal. So what we wanna do is make sure that our feet are basically underneath our knees, almost like we're squatting. So I should be able to just stand up and sit down like a squat. So avoid having your feet too far away or your feet tucked too far behind you. So think about having your feet a little bit under your knees so you can feel the ground from floor to core. So mistake number 2, again, overarching the back. And you can see a lot of this from just the setup. If our feet are already planted on the floor in a positive position, we want to avoid having our butt too far in the front of the bench and then having this arched back like this. So when we do press the weight, we look like this. And we want to avoid this. This isn't healthy on our back. What we want to do is, again, keeping your feet planted on the floor, push your butt to the back of this bench. When the weights are kicked up, we want to get our shoulders back and away from our ears, and we're going to have a little bit of a healthy arch in our back. We're going to engage our core again, so we can avoid this, and we want to be more so like this. Then when we're pressing, our back stays in a healthy position. You can see the difference. It even looks healthier and safer. So remember, feet planted, floor to core. Butts can be in the back of the bench, engaging that core so when our shoulders are back and away from our ears, we don't have this, and we have more of this. What mistake is this, 3? Yeah, mistake number 3, and that's the inability to depress your shoulders. When we're pressing, oftentimes I see a lot of this. We get this congested look here. We want to have our shoulders, remember again, just like chest, rolled back and away from our ears. Keep our shoulders in a depressed state. So when we do press, our shoulders stay in position and they stay depressed. Instead of going from here and here, it looks like more from here to here. So almost think about pushing yourself into the ground. And this is what it's gonna look like. I have my dumbbells, my feet are planted, my butt's in the back of the bench, kick the weights up, reset my feet, roll my shoulders back and away from my ears. Almost letting the weights do the depression themselves, and then pressing the weight in the air while my shoulders stay down. Again, take that cue of pushing yourself into the ground and not the weight over your head. Wrong way, right way. Mistake number 4, and that's not aligning your shoulders. And we're gonna fix that with stacking your joints. And here's how that looks. Whether we're using a dumbbell or barbell, they're gonna change a bit, but stacking your joints, they're gonna stay consistent. Since I have dumbbells, I have a lot more free range of motion, but I wanna avoid having my arms out here and flaring too much and then trying to press up. My joints are not stacked. Stacking your joints means, again, making sure your fists, wrists, and elbows are under the dumbbell, and we're having a slight angle inside, and then we're pushing up. And you can see from how I'm pushing, my fist, wrist, and elbows stay under the dumbbell the entire time. We want to avoid overreaching or opening our shoulder up too much, because from there, I can't stack my wrist, fists, and elbows. So same rules are going to apply with the barbell. Again, getting the barbell over your collarbone, just above it. Don't have to be too low. But again, if you look at my arms, my fist, wrist, and elbow stay under the bar the entire time that I press. And again, going back to the 3rd mistake, pushing the weight too high up and not pushing yourself into the ground. We're gonna take that cue along with fists, wrists, and elbows under the bar and pushing that weight up and over. And making sure that it stays aligned the entire time. We wanna avoid doing this or over pressing like this. Again, remember, fists, wrists, and elbows under the dumbbells. Slightly angling our elbows, opened, pressing above. We want to avoid pushing like this, or over opening up and pressing like this. Remember, fist, wrist, and elbows pushing into the ground. So mistake number 5, that happens a lot with your accessory work in terms of doing dumbbell lateral raises. Now I see oftentimes, a lot of times we're trying to pull too much with our hands. So we get a lot of this, we get a lot of bent elbows like this, and we get a lot of almost like we're doing a high row pull. What we want to do is make sure that our fists, wrists, and elbows stay in line with our shoulders. So when we pull the weight up, our shoulders are doing the work. We want to make sure that at the top of the lift, we look like this. We can have a slight little angle from our shoulder in. We don't have to be all the way out, just like shoulder press. We want a slight little angle in this way. And then we're pulling, we want to make sure that we're pulling with our shoulder. And a good cue of that is thinking about lifting with our elbow. From here, pulling the weight up. And everything's going to stay on the same plane. We want to avoid this part being lower than your elbow. And we want to avoid this fist being higher than your elbow. You want to keep it in a nice neutral position. So, picking up your weight, feet shoulder width apart, planted to the ground, core engaged, shoulders back and away from our ears, with a slight angle, lifting up with our shoulders. We're up and we're down. And we only want to lift the weight to shoulder height. We don't have to go all the way up here, and we don't want to go halfway here either. Remember, again, we want to pull the weight up with our shoulders, making sure our fists, wrists, elbows, and shoulders are in the same plane or the same height. And we want to kind of rock into it. Don't rush it up, rock into it, and try to control that top part of the lift from here and all the way down to here. Again, we want to avoid doing this. We want to avoid too much arm bending like this. We want to avoid leaving our fists down while we pull the weight up like this. Try not to rock so much. Again, making sure we're strong, right from the fist to the wrist, to the elbow, to the shoulder. In that perfect alignment. And you'll be able to isolate your shoulders the entire time. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy that. And if you guys use any of the cues, let us know in the comment section below. Remember, we're putting out 2 videos every week, so make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. And you guys know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.